Hi, welcome everybody. This is our final show for this spring, this academic year. So let's have a quick moment of silence. Okay, we're done with that. But we will be back in a matter of weeks, from 5 or 6 weeks. We're going to take a break, just like all of our coaches and our teams that do as well. Though we will still have stories regularly. We're going to do some more enterprise stories this summer on high school sports and the year-round competition and strength and conditioning and 7-on-7 passing leagues and all that. So stay tuned on sacbee.com every day, and the print version as well. And we always have something going on because there is always something going on. So later in this show, we're going to have a big reveal. I'll have my colleague and my friend Cameron Salerno of the Bee. We're going to do what we call the big reveal, and we're going to introduce who our Sacramento Bee high school football players of the year are for this spring. We have more than normal because it was an unusual spring season. So we'll talk about our player of the year, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and we also broke it down by enrollment: large school, medium school, small, and extra small, or super small. But so we'll have that as well. Some coaches with some great photos. But first, we're going to give you a nice little video package on an interesting young man. It's been an inspiring year for student athletes this academic year, who went months without playing on campus or being on campus due to the pandemic, and months without sports competition. The team squeezed in competitions, and nobody was more inspiring, I don't think, than Domjan Agovic of Del Campo. He's 6'10" scoring marvel for the Cougars. All the more impressive for the senior because he only has one hand. His right hand arm ends at his wrist. This guy can play. He's had 3 games of 35 points or more. Let's get right to that package right now. Here's Domjan and his story with some terrific footage by our photographer, Sarah Neves.
The reason I started playing basketball is because I was born in Italy, and people there used to always play soccer and stuff like that. So when I moved here to America when I was 8 years old, my mom wanted to tell me that I could do anything because I have one hand. So then she made me go play basketball. And I remember this day that I went to a rec center, and I was just like, how am I supposed to play with one hand and stuff like that? And then she just told me that you can do anything you want. So, and I just try to inspire people and stuff like that. So yeah, they just say, man, you're just a inspiration to me and just stuff like that. Just keep on going. Yeah.
Teams don't take it easy on you. They're going to try to strip you, but you're going to go after them too.
Exactly. It's just I just got to play I think I have 2 hands and they have 2 hands. It's just it doesn't matter to me, Yeah.
Do you ever wonder what if you had 2 hands?
Yeah, of course I do, man. People say oh yeah, if you have 2 hands, you'd be so much better and stuff like that. But I think I'm as good as I am right now with 1 hand and 2 hands,
Where are you going to go to college? What are you going to study? What do you want to do for a career?
I got an offer from Casa, Monterey, and I'm going to play basketball there. I think I might major in business, but I don't know yet. Yeah.
What's your message for anybody who might think they have long odds?
Man, you just have to believe to succeed. You can't just have that mindset that you're not going to do anything. I've had that mindset before, saying oh yeah, I'm not good at this, but then overall, I think I can do it.
How about that? I'm a fan of the young man. Thanks to Coach Dave Nobis, who reminded me about him. I knew about him last season, and just sometimes you just get overwhelmed with work and you forget. But they play one final game, the Del Campo Cougars, Wednesday at Vista del Lago. The Capital Athletic League is playing longer than everybody else. He's averaging 20 points a game. He's going to Cal State Monterey Bay. So kudos to him and just perseverance. We'll have a story in the print version of the Bee and online here in the next week or so. So we like that. That's what's great about high school sports around here, is you're going to have some of those kids like that. So let's bring in my friend, my editor, Jim Patrick. Jim, this kid's he's easy to root for, and he's got the best basketball name I've ever seen, Domjan. Normally we go with last name after first reference. We're going Domjan the whole way here.
Why wouldn't you? Are there more than one? And nobody's going to be confused about who we're talking about. That was the old rule when we were starting out in this business 100 years ago. Was as long as it's clear who you're talking about, you can whatever works is my opinion.
That's exactly right.
We're the fun section.
That we are. We're the toy department. But no, I've never seen a one-handed basketball player. We did a profile some 20 years ago, a Florin football player, forget his name. He had one hand. quarterback, and we've seen it in baseball. I think we've seen it in swimming, but pretty unique in basketball. He's inspiring. He's got a good message, and I flat out asked him, "Did you ever think about having both hands?" Of course. And so he's he also left the game the other night with friends coming up to talk to him. His girlfriend's a big fan. The guy's living a good life, and his final theme was, "I'm a happy guy. Life is good."
You know, it helps when you're 6'10" too, doesn't it? Because
it does.
I mean, I was watching that video going, man, he's got a great, I mean, if he just body shape, that's kind of what I would look for if I'm looking for a 4, especially at the college level, a 6'10" guy with a little bit of quickness and some, it seemed like he had nice handle too. He wasn't sloppy with his dribbling. It looked like a decent shot. I mean, you don't go play college ball if the coaches aren't seeing something. Assuming 6'10" and some shooting ability. He was out in 3-point range, Joe. Did he take some threes?
He did. He made a couple of threes. I've seen footage of him where he gets a long rebound and he powers up the court and thunder dunks right down the lane. And teams do not take it easy on him. He doesn't want any pity, so they'll collapse on him in the lane to try to strip him. That happens a couple of times. He got called for a travel, but he also is quick enough. If a double team doesn't come quick enough, he'll spin baseline and lay it up, kind of a Hakeem Olajuwon type of move. Or if he does get doubled, he's a terrific passer. And they're a superbly coached team under Coach Dave Novus. So guys are moving and setting screens. And what a nice way to end this academic year on this program with a nice feel good story and a player who seems to get it. And of course, when we talk sports, Jim, there's always the interesting story, a little bit of controversy, and our friend Julian Lopez on the Modesto Bee just had a story on modbee.com. We're going to run it on sacbee.com as well, and we've talked about it a little bit on this show. But there was a club football effort in some teams that played during the winter, and this was before we had regular season play for high school football in March and April. It all sounds weird to even say it. And so there was a stretch there, Jim, as we recap, that we weren't sure if there's going to be any football at all. So there were some coaches down at Ripon Christian, throughout the Modesto area, Vacaville Christian, Grant High School, Capital Christian in Sacramento, Grant also of Sacramento, and they had some games. And they're under investigation by the Sac Joaquin section, the governing body for high school sports located in Lodi. And there's going to be a meeting, I think, June 17th. Might there be sanctions? There's been an investigation. I think there are probably going to be some sanctions. Club football is different. Can you be playing on campuses and using the same gear and equipment? That's what's going to be.
And what coordination?
So it's interesting.
There had to be some. I know that they set it up, or they said they were setting it up as separate entities. These are club teams. These have nothing to do with the high school teams. But really, I mean, granted, I don't know. Maybe somebody could make a case that the Capital Christian football team or the Grant football team had no interaction with these club teams that were playing on their football fields with some of their players. I would, that seems like a stretch to me. I leave the door open that sure, maybe there was no connection, but I'm sure that the section is taking a look at whether or not there's that there was some, I don't know what, every word that comes to mind, it sounds like a criminal case, and I don't mean to apply any of that, but, if there was some collusion or if there was some cooperation, maybe is the right word, between the high school teams and these club teams. Yeah, I mean, it was such a weird time back in March where these guys got really frustrated right as the state started to open up. And I understand the frustration of wanting to play some games, but you don't get to do what it appears happened at some of these schools, and there's going to be some ramifications for what happened at some of these schools. So
and there will be. And I'm going to read off some of these schools. This is from Julian Lopez of the Modesto Bee. Let's see the schools in question that participated in one way or another. Big Valley Christian of Modesto, Capital Christian of Sacramento, Central Catholic of Modesto, Grant High School here in Sacramento, Houston, Ripon Christian, Stone Ridge Christian, Vacaville Christian, Woodland Christian. All of them are private schools except for Grant. Again, I think the intent was noble. Let's give kids an opportunity. We tried to go out and do stories, and we were turned away, and that's unusual. And
all the TV stations were turned away. I mean,
all media was turned away, and why would you want to come out? Yeah, you guys are going to push a narrative. No, that's we want to see how you could do it. Can football be done? And then you ordered up let's send a drone. Let's send a drone over the football field and get a photo. And so that'll be interesting. I don't want to speculate and guess here, Jim, but I would think any of the punishment sanctions might be a team might lose some practice contacts, or maybe a coach has to sit out a game or two. I don't think players are going to, I don't know.
I don't think they
players
punish them.
I don't know if they're going to punish players. I'm not sure. A lot of the conversation on social media is, why would you, the CIF has already punished kids enough. The CIF hasn't punished kids. The CIF was not denying kids a chance to play during the pandemic. The CIF cannot force its member schools or its school districts. They can't say you're going to play or you're not going to play. They're going to do. I mean, the districts were independent. Say we're not going to play. The CIF lays out a sports calendar and finally said we're not going to have certain sports. But the CIF is not the enemy here in trying to deny kids. So it's unusual, as we touched on before, Jim. We've never had club football, and we'll see club football again.
You're sending me back into a bad headspace where for a year the only sport was the buck passing that was going on between county governments, the school districts, and everybody was pointing at the state. They said, well, the state guidelines say that we can't play, so we can't play. And you would point out to them, well, it's just a guideline. You're under no obligation, and just blah blah blah. You'll have to talk to somebody else about that, and that somebody else never answers their phone or responds to any emails. So it was a year of that of buck passing, and parents caught on to that, and players caught on to that, and thank God, we've been crazy busy this spring with every sport playing at once, and I'm sure there are some parents and some ADs out there that can relate to that sentiment. So thank God it isn't in that situation, but I think they do need to, getting back to Julian's story, I do think they need to, the section needs to, and the CAF needs to make sure that just to set we can't set a precedent where these club teams can go off and do whatever they want with high school resources being used behind them. You don't get to do that.
Exactly. And so they'll be curious. We'll see what happens through the modestobee.com, modbee.com, and we'll also look into it as well. And, in this, the Sac Joaquin section is one of 10 sections in this state, and it's a rules following organization. You have to follow up on rules and those kind of things. So we'll see. This is totally different than AAU baseball or AAU basketball, I should say, or those things. So it's we'll see what happens. But Jim, I'm disappointed in your hat. It looks like Twin Cities. He's just a show off. That's okay. Well, fortunately,
in 6 weeks or so, when we fire this back up, we'll talk about the Twins' 40-game win streak and them shooting back up into the American League Central lead.
Yeah, not likely. Yeah, I think that's Jim Patrick, our sports editor, who's had heat stroke in a 65-degree morning. So, Jim, always good to see you. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the insight, and away we go. So, from Jim to Cameron Salerno. Let's bring in Cameron Salerno. He's enjoyed working with him the last couple of years. Works hard. He cares. He's done our baseball rankings and girls basketball rankings. We talked about that all season. And Cameron, good to see you, sir. And we are going to talk. We want to have something fun every week on the show. Let's get something so people can learn. And so let's talk players of the year. We got our all Metro package. This is how it works. I want to let people know. I'm going to blame Cameron for anybody who emails and calls and says, hey, where's my kid? And I said, well, I had him on there, but Cameron Salerno said, no deal. So I took him off. So his phone number is this. His girlfriend's number is this. Call him in the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. hours. And just keep dialing. That's how it works, brother. We just blame the young guy. He didn't care. He didn't like your kid. Doesn't like your school.
Wanted to bring up a good point real quick before we start with All Metro. Shout out to Sammy Long, who's a Del Campo High School and Sacramento State alum. Really cool story. I'm reading off a tweet right now. He was out of baseball in 2018. Then he went back to school to become an EMT. Then he threw a bullpen that got attention on social media. Then he got picked up, and the rest is history. He's having a really good spring training. I saw videos of him before he went there, and he was really doing well. And I saw the comments just saying, oh, this guy will never get up to the big leagues and whatever. And he dominated in Double-A, and then he had 2 really good starts for the River Cats. So really good story and just someone you want to root for, you know. So
yeah, and he's a pride of Del Campo. I remember him there. I remember him at Sac State. Great point, Cameron, an insight there. And he had two terrific outings for the River Cats. I think he struck out 8 in a row at one point in his first game. And when you can play and when you could pitch, you've got a future. And so here it's a thrill of a lifetime. Logan Webb of Rocklin High School has also had that same kind of experience. Played for the Giants in the big league as a pitcher. So it's hard to break through, but it does happen. The Elko Thundering Herd has 6 Major League Baseball guys on Major League teams now. Rowdy Tellez, J.D. Davis, Nick Madrigal, Dylan Carlson. I know I'm missing somebody, but just an incredible haul. Don Nunez and Derek Hill, an outfielder. So just we have baseball. We have big time baseball around here, and so good to see. We also have big
baseball Metro next week, and we'll have baseball all Metro sometime next week, maybe the week after. It's coming along, and basketball the week after that.
And our football all Metro package will run on Friday on SACB.com, and then Sundays print version. A lot of people like to pick those up. That'll be a nice package there. So let's get right to it. Our player of the year for the Sacramento Bee spring 2021 season is Chris Lands on Monterey Trail. Cameron, we liked him because he did everything. Defensive back, running back, leader. I'm going to meet with him today, and he's going to play at American River College. He certainly would have liked to have played on a scholarship. I think he's a scholarship kid, but it's hard to get. I mean, it's very competitive, but American River College is a grooming ground for guys who go on to the 4-year level. All JCs are. It's a great level there. But TJ Ewing, the Monterey Trail coach, said this kid is our Swiss Army knife, does it all, and cares. And the team went, I think, 5-0. We were hoping for a Folsom versus Monterey Trail or a Monterey Trail versus Rocklin. Would have happened if there was a playoffs. But this kid stands tall. He's the first overall player of the year, MVP for Monterey Trail.
Awesome.
So not bad.
Let's switch over to offensive player of the year now, which is a familiar guy, another running back who's really had a good career, Ethan Menenez at Vista Del Lago. I think that's maybe Vista Del Lago's first offensive player of the year, and correct me if I'm wrong. I know the school is relatively new. But
boy, can this guy play? 3-year starter, school's all-time leading rusher. I've seen him play. You've seen him play. This is a great photo. I think one of your parents shot this photo, Cameron. That's how talented your family is, and he just runs over a Jesuit guy. And he's also a good receiver. I saw him catch a couple 70-yard touchdowns over the middle. He just gets beyond the secondary. So
we're both at this game.
Yes, and it was the first time you and I had run into each other since the pandemic, and so that was cool. So kudos to Ethan. Let's go with you got to have a defensive player of the year. So we went with Austin Hopman of Whitney, and what's his deal? Well, he's strong for one thing. This guy is a weight room guru. You can see it on his Twitter. Take a look at this, and we'll go quiet here just to see him do his thing. And our producer, David Caraccio, said, we muted it because there's all kinds of guttural sounds. But that's a man right there. Why did we go with him? Well, he was the defensive player of the year from the Sierra Foothill League. And that was enough for us to say, okay, that's the best league in the section. So you've seen this guy in the last couple of years, a playmaker. He makes stops, tackles, sacks. Yeah.
I really believe if there was a full season, he'd be playing at a Division I school at the FCS level, FBS level. Just a really good player, sure tackler, one of the best tacklers I've seen in a long time. Speaking of Sierra Foothill League, let's stay in the league. Our first in a very long time since you've been at the Bee. Lineman of the year, Bobby PILAND. I think anybody in the section who's played against him knows who that kid is. And
who looks like this? Who looks like this? This is a photo off of his Twitter, and I guess during the muddy season, he just picks up 400-pound balls of cement and just throws them around. But dominating. Huddle film is great to watch this kid. He's only a junior. He's got terrific grades. He's getting heavily recruited. Ivy League schools are interested in him as well. But Cameron, you've seen him. I've seen him. He just moves people out of the way. He could play offensive guard, tackle, defensive end, played for Rocklin, the team that went unbeaten. A nice kid. He's known to hang out in the school library and talk to the teachers on campus. What can I do to do even better in class? The guy is driven. He's got that long shock of blonde hair, which offends me, quite frankly. But, he's got hair and I don't. And so here he's a beast in the weight room. Take a look at this. Boom. I thought I saw the bar move. We don't know how many pounds that is, but we're speculating it's about 1,600 pounds or 200 kilos. I'm not even sure what those measurements are, but the guy's a man, and he's only a junior.
Looks like 1045s, like 5 on each side. So that'd be about 450 plus 45-pound bar, probably like 495.
Yeah, it's a ton.
That's a lot.
Jim Patrick was saying earlier, he goes, I think he just lifted a Buick or a Volkswagen. I'm not sure. All right. So you got to have a coach of the year. And on our team, we have several coaches of the year based on enrollment of schools. We're not disclosing them all here. That'll be in our package. But we went with Brian Lewis of Kennedy High School. Somebody might go, Kennedy? Well, what this guy did was amazing. They went 3-1, and they opened the season, Cameron, as we all know, with the most heartfelt anguish. A team leader, a team captain, Manny Antwi, died after collapsing after a season opening game against Johnson. And that devastates a community. Still not sure exactly what happened. He passed his physical, good kid, good student. He had just gotten his driver's license that week. And Brian Lewis is an alumni coach, meaning he went to school at Kennedy. He's been coaching there for several years, and he kept this team together. They could have folded in their tent. They could have said, we're not going to play anymore. And I admire this coach. I'm so impressed. The only loss was to Wood Creek, but there was some good sportsmanship there where the Wood Creek program honored Manny before the game. So we always look at coaches normally with a playoff season, Cameron. It's going to be somebody who won a section championship or state championship. We didn't have a playoff, so who really left an impact? Well, Brian Lewis left an impact as an amazing coach who kept these kids together, and they love this guy. And so I feel really good about that selection.
I do too. I mean, just incredible guy to keep it all together in those times. Just incredible. I mean, it's amazing what he was able to do.
Yeah. Now, and speaking of amazing, we've seen this a lot over the years. Our large school players of the year can't go better with a family. Josh and Tyler Tremaine of Folsom, they're only juniors. Can you believe that? So here's Josh Tremaine. This guy was a kicker. He was a leading tackler. He made plays on offense. He was a blocker. He was a leader. He was a scholar. Wow. And then his twin brother, Tyler, was the next great quarterback at Folsom. And before anybody says, oh, they're pipelining in new guys. No, these guys grew up in Folsom. They grew up through the ranks here. They like their role. They like leading Folsom. Folsom was our number one team. And they played the part. He had 2,000 yards in 6 games, which is impressive. They're both back this fall, and Folsom's got some other horses around them. So those two guys they played the part.
They could have easily been overall players of the year, but just incredible performance, and they're our large school players of the year.
Yeah, and then medium school player of the year is DJ CROWTHER of Christian Brothers. We both saw him play. This is off his Twitter. This photo here, it's a little blurry because he's that fast. But this guy, what is it he couldn't do, Cameron? He had 90-yard kickoff returns for touchdowns. He had punt returns for touchdowns. He handoffs for touchdowns, receptions for touchdowns. He's only a junior. Schools like UC Davis have offered or interested, so he's a good student. He's a good kid. Heck of a player. You can do a lot of things with a guy like that, and he's got another year to go.
Yeah, and I think if we talk about the spring football season, we talk about who did it benefit. I think someone like DJ, it really benefited him a lot because he got a lot of film in, and schools like UC Davis have offered him, and he's going to be a really good player. And I think he's going to rack up some more offers this summer. Yes,
and we're hearing some rumblings. We don't like to dig into speculation and gossip that he might be transferring, might be on his way out. Let's hope he stays put. It would be really something if he transferred and had to sit out. So we're rooting for kids to stay put, but that's a kid. They're looking for a new coach. John Wiley's not the coach there right now. He stepped down because of he just got tired and didn't like the whole theme of daddy ball. And his son Jet Wiley, we talk about great names. Jet Wiley's we could let this one out of the bag. He's an all metro kid. He's only a sophomore receiver. So you got two big-time playmakers there. All right, so another guy that you know, Cameron, I know, a small school player of the year for the Sacramento Bee. That package runs later this week online and in print. Dylan Overstreet of Casa, Roble. I'm not sure what this guy can't do. A catcher, blocker, runner, terrific player.
Yeah, and I think he could be almost better at TikTok. He's a TikTok sensation. I think he has, I don't know how many followers exactly, but it's over 1 million. He's gone viral on there a few times, but on the football field, incredible player. I think he's making his college commitment today, so they'll be really interesting to see where he ends up.
And he's a guy. I was talking to his mom because I wonder if he played at a larger school, if he would have been a scholarship guy. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. You could play at the smallest school And college recruiters do not care about stats or schedule. They want to see film, they want to see body size, they want to see grades. And one guy who checks off on all of those things, despite going to a small school, is our smallest school player of the year, and that's CARSON LOWRIE of Winners. I saw him play last year, Cameron. I saw him play this spring. And CARSON LOWRIE of Winners, he's the quarterback there on the left. He played every single down. Quarterback, running back, kickoff returns, punt returns, defense. And I'm thinking, how does this guy have energy? And I saw them after their final game, and he still had enough energy to hug all his parents and his brothers. He had 2 star brothers who played before him. So there's a big name there. His dad played high school football there, was a star there in the late 70s. So that's a small school, small town type of thing. His mom, Kelly, goes to Winners football games and wears her son's Letterman's jacket. That's how small that and cool that is. Daniel Ward is the football coach at Winters. He was an alumni as well there, and he says, hey, my mom still wears my Letterman's jacket. So it's pretty good living there. He's going to go to a small college up in Idaho, College of Southern Idaho, which is coached by Mike Morosky, the former UC Davis quarterback star in the late 70s and longtime assistant coach. So we like to honor schools of the largest enrollment, Folsom, for example, down to the smallest, including Winners. And you can play. The kid is 6'2", 215 pounds. Cameron, I saw him. He could play at any school in Sacramento.
I agree with that. I just want to reiterate how cool it is to do large school, medium school, small school, smaller school, because these kids are worthy, you know? And when you look at it, it's hard to judge. How would you measure stats in a smaller school compared to someone like Folsom or Monterey Trail? And you really can't. So I think it's a great opportunity to honor some of these kids and just show them, hey, even if you're a small school, we're still watching you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And some might argue, Cameron, that's too watered down. You got too many players. Well, okay, so 25, 30 years ago when I first started doing this, we didn't have as many schools. And now, in the last 30 years, you and I wrote this down once. In the last 30 years, this area has added some 30 high schools. And so that's more players and all that. So, Cameron, we're out of time. We will talk to you soon. The Buzz has taken a few-week break before we ramp it up again late summer. But we do have stuff every day, every week on SacBee.com. Special thanks to Cameron. Special thanks to our producers, including Kamario Roberts and David Caraccio. Cameron, thanks to you, good sir, and to Jim Patrick and everybody else. And we'll see you soon. We're online every day. Give us a peek.